Kotoko still chasing a first win this season. They were stunned in BBN. We'll play back the highlights for you. There was a bit of a controversial movement there to look at. Huddersfield got their first win of the campaign, of course, against Insua Treman. The goal came in the 4th minute. We'll play it back for you. Martin Kootman getting his very first victory. Other teams got some good wins. Nations FC, newly promoted, getting their first win of the season. Karela United, who now play their games in Tamale, got their first win of the season as well. We'll look back on what has been, or what was, a really good match week 2 in the Ghana Premier League. We'll take you to England, where Chelsea's problems continued. Man City cruising. North London derby was a thriller, and Man United got a bit of a redemption. And then, of course, in Spain, the biggest game on the calendar was Atletico Madrid against Real Madrid. Real Madrid were unbeaten. In fact, they had won every single game in La Liga so far this season. They went to Atletico Madrid and they were absolutely pummeled by Diego Simeone's men. We'll tell you exactly how they did it. Barcelona, meanwhile, stealing their way onto the top of the table in Spain. All right. In Italy, Romelu Lukaku, 3 in 3. Hey, Chelsea can't score, but Lukaku is scoring for fun. There's that to come. We'll wrap up with some athletics as well, because there was a world record at the Berlin Marathon with Ethiopian Tigist Asefa breaking the women's world record in the marathon at the Berlin Marathon. Routine victory, of course, for Eliud Kipchoge. All of that to come. Plus your messages and, of course, Ghanaian players abroad. Karim has been scoping. He's been looking around, seeing every single Ghanaian player who plays abroad. And he selected the best 11 performers. We'll show that to you here on the show. Sports Zone on Joy Prime is brought to you, of course, by Pride Bet. Thank you so much for choosing us. I'll tell you a bit more about them very, very shortly. The show is also sponsored, of course, by Syntex Tank, the leading water tank manufacturer in Ghana. I'll tell you a bit more about them. And also, of course, Hunters, all right? Hunters, who have introduced the Hunters Red Apple Cider, a quality product from Casa Preco. The show is live and interactive on social media. You can get in touch with us on all of the biggest talking points from the weekend that you want to comment on, whether it's Man United's victory, Kotoko, Huddersfield, athletics, Chelsea's problems. They said Chelsea wouldn't have a goal of the month. Can't do a goal of the month award because they still haven't scored in September, and they play Brighton on Wednesday in the EFL Cup. Brighton at Stamford Bridge. Chelsea don't score, there won't be a goal of the month award. Chelsea's worst start to a season. Oh goodness me, let me stop talking about Chelsea. Anyway, Chelsea fans, I want to hear from you. I've seen people saying Pochettino out. My personal view, I don't think it's the problem. What about you? Do you think Poch is the problem? From where you said, what is Chelsea's problem? Of course, we want to hear from you. Use the hashtag SportsZone on Twitter to get in touch with me. Your messages there, I'll read them. Also on WhatsApp, you prefer that platform. The number is 055 055 57 57 57 0551 57 57 57. I'm very excited, but we'll take a very short break. When we come back, I'll introduce my 2 favorite guests, and we can start showing you some highlights. All right, welcome back. This is Sports Zone on Joy Prime. We're on from now till 10 p.m. It's your most authoritative, your most fun, your most intellectual Monday night show. Forget about any other Monday night show. Your favorite Monday night show from now till eternity is, of course, Sports Zone. And I'm very pleased, very happy to be joined by my 2 very good friends. First up, right next to me, Daniel Cranting is here in his all black. How are you? And then, returning after he emptied the entire tank. Philip Ashrim. Bro, we've missed you.
Yeah, man.
How was the honeymoon?
Brilliant. Superb.
Yeah. What were you up to?
A lot of things. You've got only an hour for the show, so if I start, that is a show.
Oh man,
that is a show.
Is there a lot of things?
A lot of things.
The director wants to know. It's things like what? Priscilla wants to know.
Priscilla, I mean, you've got an hour for the show, so if you allow the show to
you
become
want to waste time on that? No, we beg.
Okay,
we beg.
I was ready.
We beg. We really don't get time.
Viewers, I have a quick story.
Okay.
Very quick one.
Okay.
Just before we
This is your camera.
Just before we came on set, if you know what happened to me, first of all, I asked the Lord to locate me. Lord, I asked you to locate me.
Don't worry.
Bless me. We were standing outside Fent, Sito, and Gary. And they decided I was there. We were 4. And then they started talking about marriage and family life.
That's right.
So I took Karim's hand and we quickly came upstairs because we were not part.
You don't have an experience.
But the Lord will locate us.
Oh man!
Wow.
I miss you guys. Welcome to the show.
Good to be back.
Yeah, bro. Once again, congratulations.
Thank you.
We're very happy for you.
Thank you.
You already look different. The glow is different. The smile is different. Everything.
Who finds a wife, as the Holy Book says.
Yes,
That's a good thing.
Fantastic.
that's true.
There's favor on you.
And now Karim is using that opportunity to slide some people.
Oh, don't worry.
You come here. You come here. You come.
I'll get him.
All right, welcome to the show, guys. It's live and interactive. The hashtag on Twitter is Joy Prime. Also, of course, you prefer WhatsApp. The number is 0551 575757. This show is interactive. It's yours. We'll read as many comments as possible. But the show is proudly sponsored by Hunters, and Hunters have introduced the Hunters Real Apple Cider. It's crisp and refreshing beverage that's perfect for any occasion. Okay, whether you're looking for a chill, refreshing drink on a hot sunny day or a warming beverage during the colder months, make sure you choose Hunters. Okay, enjoy it on its own, or you can pair it with your favorite meal for a delicious and satisfying experience. Of course, experience the true taste of real apples with every sip with Hunter's Red Apple Cider. Hunter's Red Apple Cider has got real apples, another quality product from Casapreco. You want to buy bulk purchase, just call them at 026 235 1251. 026 235 1251. The show is also sponsored by Pride Bet. Thank you guys for joining us on the show. And Pride Bet, as part of their sponsorship for this show, they're dishing out free. We like free, okay? If you like the sound of free, Pride Bet is your choice. Simply register with Pride Bet, and you get to enter the free daily sports quiz to win 25,000 Ghana cedis every day. And this one is not even also just answer some questions and win a lot of money. So what are you waiting for? Just go to pridebet.com.gh now to play. All new players also get 100% welcome bonus on your first deposit. So whatever you put there, if you put 10 cedis, you get 100%, you get 20 Ghana. Okay, and you can use that to play the quiz and win some amazing prizes. Pride Bet. Pride Bet, let's go. And of course, also you remember, it's not for under 18 and it's regulated by the Gaming Commission. The show is also sponsored, of course, by Syntex Tank. I keep telling you all the time, whatever your water storage needs are, make sure it's a Syntex Tank, okay? They give you a 7-year warranty. They give you all the colors that you want. They give you all the layers that you want. Syntex Tank, you really can't go wrong with Syntex Tank. It's strong, it's tough. So whatever your water storage needs are, they've got you. And they have over 300 agents nationwide. So just pick up the phone wherever you are in Ghana. You want to buy a water tank, just call them. The number is 0244 335168. 0244 335168. Ask for any Syntex agent anywhere in the country, and they'll connect you. All right, or you can just visit any of the social media handles at Syntex Ghana, and then you can get your water tank delivered. Syntex Tank, strong, tough. All right, guys, let's begin at home. Kotoko drew their first game of the season against Heart of Lions in controversial circumstances. Lions were denied a very, very good goal, so Kotoko escaped. They went away to Bibiani to take on the Miners, Gold Stars. They weren't so lucky. They lost by 2-1, and it was brilliant goal, of course, from Eric Bosomchi that secured all 3 points for them. Daniel, you saw that game on television, and there were several moments to pick out. First up, the winning goal, fantastic.
Look, it was a super strike, and it's a kind of goal that it shocked everybody. Commentator didn't know. And the interesting thing is that during his unveiling, Prosper Ogum said it. He actually said that it would take their first 3, 4, 5 games for them to warm up into the season, because they started preseason quite late. When he came in, most of the other teams in the Ghana Premier League had already started preseason. Yeah. They were playing again. Kotoko didn't even have a coach. So I understand him when he calls for patience, especially considering the sort of performance that they put out there. Yeah. It wasn't as bad as last week was poor. This was a very good performance, which merited at least a point. Unfortunately for them, BBNE were just too good and just too clinical on the day. So, and look, I love the guys at BBNE. They are brilliant. They showed up for their team, and I'm happy they took the 3 points.
A quick one on that, because I don't know if Benaya has that clip, but there was a video that was trending on social media about a disallowed goal against, I think, Gold Stars, right? Where the goalkeeper kind of handled the ball and kind of fumbled it, and then the striker scores, and then the referee doesn't allow it. And many people are saying it's a goal.
Yeah, look, it's again, especially for where we sit, it is very, very important to know the rules of the game so you can bring some nuance to things. Yeah. Because if how can you criticize a referee if you don't know the rules yourself?
You can't.
You can't do that. So it's very important. I'm happy we are talking about this. The rule it clearly states that in order for a goalkeeper to have control of the ball needs to be trapped between his hand and any surface. So if it's a hand and it's a pool, he's in control of the ball. You can't hit it. As a hand in the ground, it's a hand in his body. Once he has control of the ball with his hand trapped in between the surface and then the ball, then he's in control.
That's what happened in this situation. What happened.
So the goalkeeper fumbled it, but then he put his hand on the ball, and the ball was kicked.
You can't squeeze it out of his hand. You can't
squeeze it out of his hand. So that was a foul, and it was a correct decision from the referee.
That's fair. Sicho, quick comments on the Kotoko game?
Yeah. I thought, listen, Kotoko's problem, I think I saw in that game, also has to do with their midfield. I think it's going to take time for them to gel. Apia McCarthy just ran the show in that game. He's got experience. We saw him when he was at Ashfield. Magnificent footballer.
League winner.
And he's fit again. I mean, he has his own injury worries. Ashfield, I know, in the league anymore. So he's found himself in BBNE. And now he's in that game, it just looked like nobody could get close to him. His pass and his set pieces, he was brilliant. And when you go to BBNE, it's one of the most intimidating places to go. And I've been
It's got a great atmosphere all the time.
Massive atmosphere because the fans are very close to the pitch. Yeah. And it's a community where parts of them support Kotoko.
Of course.
Parts of them support Hartlepool. So when there is Kotoko in town, the part that supports Hartlepool are BBNE through and through. Yeah. And they've got extra motivation to go against Kotoko because they're Hartlepool. And when Hartlepool are in town, it's vice versa. So they create an incredible atmosphere. I just think that place is going to be a very difficult place for any team to go. And for Kotoko, their team doesn't look a title-winning team yet. Yeah. The boys between the hand and the palm and the surface. So,
this is the incident. So the goalkeeper fumbles it. That he's got the ball. He's trying to throw it. It doesn't go, and then it drops. Then he puts his hand on it, and then the striker kicks it out of his control.
And we normally do criticize our refs, and that's one of those calls that if you're a referee, you're not careful, you're just gonna. You don't always come across the scenarios. So if you're not careful, you're not applying the right rule. But they dug right into the rule book and they applied it well.
I'm really glad this came up and we had an opportunity to educate. So it's a very important part of the show. So for anybody that tells you that this is a goal, tell them that per the law, the referee was absolutely spot on. Let's go to Accra now, Accra Sports Stadium. That's where Hearts of Oak were seeking redemption. The opening game was against RTU. They lost that by a goal to nil. Came to Accra Sports Stadium. The spectatorship wasn't great, but it was decent, and the goal came very early on. This is the easiest goal Kashala Ramos would ever score, an easy tapping. And Hearts of Oak had a lot of opportunities later on in the game, and they didn't take advantage of it. Then the match was made a lot more difficult for Insua after Filippo Fori got sent off in the 34th minute. But again, this is a game where a lot of Hearts of Oak fans would have watched and may not necessarily be pleased with the finishing, but they would have been very pleased with the performance.
Yeah, I looked at that game. I thought they were a lot better than we saw in Tamale. That was away from home. And the fact that they could create a lot of chances in this game and the fact that strikers were getting in these positions are promising. Because if you don't create chances, then there's a worry. But if you're able to create chances, then there is hope that the finishing touch could be better and could come. So Arsenal could be excited about the way they play. I thought generally the way they played was exciting. Yeah. They just have to keep taking those chances because it is what matters at this level. One moment can flip the game and you could be losing it from a promising position. And I think that having lost the game in the way they lost in Tamale, I thought in that game against Tamale, they weren't awful. They could have easily gone away from that game with a point. I think, goalkeeping judgment, lack of the judgment there with the aerial ball, it's what cost them. But here they are bouncing back to.
You see why I'm laughing when you mention goalkeeping?
Right.
You see that?
They have time.
No, I'm just like the way clips of Richard Arteta's athleticism.
Yeah, I mean,
Richard Arteta was just too big.
Yeah, and it cost them.
Yeah,
that point in Tamale. But
goalkeeping.
3 points here was important for them.
All right, great. Let's look at the 4 results from match week 2 in the Ghana Premier League, and then look at what the table looks like. Important victories, of course, for Nations FC. Aduana also beat Mediama, so the 2 clubs competing in Africa both lost. Mediama were beaten by Aduana. Dreams were beaten by Bisham as well. And you see the other results. Karela, impressive 3-1 win against Brecum Chelsea. They now play their football in Tamale, Karela United. Nations FC, Kwame Chase Sports Complex, they beat Savatex 2-0. And Lions beat Legon Cities 1-0. One result is missing, and that is Heart of Lions against Olympics. That match ended 0-0. I don't know what they have done against Benaya. He's left it out of the graphic. But this is
away team won a game. No away team won a game. Typical of Ghana Premier League.
Yeah. So Heart of Lions and the Olympics ended 0-0 at the Sogakope Wafa Sports Arena. All right, the table, put it back up, thank you. Before Kwatano, 4 points, so no team has 2 victories out of 2.
Because nobody wins away.
It's crazy.
That's why Kotoko fans need to come.
Crazy.
They're just 3 points behind.
Anyway, so that's the table. Too early to read any kind of meanings into this table, but that's what it is as far as that one is concerned. Thank you. So that's the lowdown on the Ghana Premier League. We can move on to other games. To England, the North London Derby was the biggest talking point on paper in England, and it did not disappoint. It delivered a thrilling 2-2 draw. Spurs coming from behind twice to peg Arsenal back. Tucho, and I'll begin with you. I mean, listen, even before... Okay, let's talk about the game itself first. The way the 2 teams play. The biggest talking point about the match was Arteta's decision to start David Raya ahead of Aaron Ramsdale, which many people read to mean that right now Raya is his number 1. He didn't exactly have a stellar game, but in this match, I mean, certainly Spurs would be the happier of the 2 teams.
Yeah, they should be, really. I mean, and again, I think I can understand what Mikel Arteta wants to do, getting quality players in every position, but I don't think goalkeeping position is one of those spots that you want to juggle with. In my mind, I'm thinking Raya is the number 1 goalkeeper now for Arsenal. And that is also largely because Arsenal's goalkeeping coach came straight from Brentford. And that is where Raya comes from. And normally when head coaches are demanding certain things from the head of coaches in different departments, they're going to tell the head coach, if you want your goalkeeper to play this way, then get me that goalkeeper, because this goalkeeper, Ramsdale, can do that. I'm not saying that is what has happened, but I think when the goalkeeper's coach is from the club where Raya comes from, and he's recommending that they bring in Raya. And in the Champions League game Raya started, the game before that he started, and in the biggest game so far of the season against Spurs, he started. I just think that Ramsdale has been relegated as a second goalkeeper, and it's going to be harsh. It's really harsh on him, because you can't say that Ramsdale is the reason why Arsenal have lost A, have lost B. He's been very good when he's played.
Yeah. Speaking of harsh, that's not a harsh penalty. It's a clear one. No?
Yeah, I think it's a clear one. Because again, the rule, you might not agree with the rule, but that is what it says. When the ball bounces off your body, but your hand is way away from your body, makes your body bigger, strikes it is a pen, right? It sounds ridiculous, but that's what the rule is. And the referees don't make the rules; they apply them, and that is why they apply that. I think yes. So Mikel Arteta now has got a very good team, but the fact that he keeps changing his starting 11 means that there's no continuity in what they are doing, unlike we saw last season where you could almost pick the same 11. So they're not as fluid, and listen, it's not also being held by some of the injuries to the side.
So Romero scores on own goal. Let's just go through the sequence of the game.
Right.
Then this is the equalizer from Tottenham Hotspur.
No, this was it.
This is a great save. wasn't it? Cool. So that's the. So Arsenal score first. Daniel, let's go through the sequence of it. Arsenal score first. A very unfortunate own goal from Romero.
Yep.
But then they fight back with Son getting the equalizer. I think we'll see the equalizer very shortly. And that's it. What went wrong here? Great play from Maddison.
Super play from Maddison. I think that for me the marking was a bit off. There's called something a defensive line cover. If the defenders right behind Saka should have been a bit closer, so that once Maddison goes past Saka, he will have to be made to think about what he'll do next. There was a bit too much space for him, and then he moved there. If you give him that space, obviously he's going to pick the pass.
Saka get on his wrong side. I think Saka got onto the side where Maddison could spin past him.
Yeah.
I think he should have gone onto the other side to block the lane.
That's what my problem is, because if you are putting someone who's not a defender on somebody as skillful
this is what you're talking
exactly
about.
Then you should be
on the other side.
Then you should be closer to help him out. But if because the chances of Maddison beating Saka are very high,
of course,
so then you need to plan for that better.
So that was the equalizer, and then Arsenal had a chance to go ahead through the penalty, which we saw earlier. You can just bring that back. I would appreciate that. So the penalty incident we already explained was a penalty for sure, and a handball comes off the hand of was it Romero? Romero again. Really unfortunate situation. I think this is the incident. The corner comes in, header comes in, Arsenal get a shot in. His hand is away from his body.
That was a foul.
All right.
Yeah.
And then the referee, I think, kind of missed it initially, didn't he? Mm-hmm. Then VAR called it, went to have a look at it on the screen, awarded a penalty, and this is the incident again. Look at that. Yeah, his hand was way too far away from his actual body. Daniel.
Yeah, this game, especially the second half, and I'm not surprised that that's a sort of commentary we've got after the game, because then again, the players in question, first of all, are not the most popular.
Yeah.
And obviously what happened in the second half, especially from an Arsenal point of view, was not what they expected. But I think it's very interesting, and for me, it was down to coaching. Now, what am I saying? When Arsenal started the first half, there were good things and bad things for Arsenal in that first half.
Yeah.
In terms of their press and applying pressure on the ball and stopping Tottenham.
Just comment on this for me.
Yes, so I'll get there. Jorginho, very uncharacteristic. I'm very surprised.
What is he trying to do?
I'm extremely surprised, because typical Jorginho is going side, moving and receiving the ball and progressing. So I really don't know what he was trying to do. But again, when you are rusty and you've not played football for a very long time, some of these poor decisions can come and then they can hurt you. But again, I was talking about the Vieira and Rice combination in the first half. It worked brilliantly in terms of Arsenal's aggressiveness in the press. When Odegaard and Nketiah went for it to press, they applied the second press, very close, very compact, stopping the Tottenham Hotspur from the receivers in Maddison and then Bissouma from getting the ball and playing from the back. So in the first half, yes, Tottenham Hotspur had the ball, but they couldn't get out of their own defensive zone, and that was a major problem. But at the same time, when Arsenal were the ones progressing the ball, it was quite difficult for them to gain that control with Declan Rice, because he was also under some pressure from Tottenham. But in the second half, when the two injuries happened and Arsenal had to change, that's where it is. It's like, for me, I feel Arsenal had better control in the second half, especially because of Jorginho.
Okay.
Put the mistake aside. In terms of Arsenal being able to string passes and the chances creation, it was better in the second half. But defensively, they were left a bit too open in that second half. And for me, that's where the problem was. So I pin it down on coaching. Now, if you are bringing two guys in who are completely different from the guys who were playing in the first half, something must change in terms of instructions. You can't force the team to play the same way they were playing, because it's obviously going to go against them. Jorginho and Havertz they are not as aggressive as Vieira and Rice. So then, in terms of blocking Tottenham Hotspur from playing, it's going to disturb you a bit. So I feel his instructions in that second half and some of the substitutions also. In fact, for me, from the start, I understand where Edin Nketiah played because of his aggressiveness. Yeah. But for me, Gabriel Jesus can do that job. And then you can bring somebody who's more suited and can go more directly at the Tottenham Hotspur fullback in terms of taking him on. And again, last thing, after 30 minutes, Udoji had a yellow card.
Yeah.
Arsenal just stopped playing on Saka's side. And it didn't make sense to me. In fact, when you watch the attacking patterns of the team, Arsenal focused more on Pedro Porro's side than Udoji's side. Meanwhile, after 30 minutes, it was Saka's isolation one-on-one with Udoji, which caused him to get a yellow card. So what do you think?
That you should have targeted him more?
Target him and get him off the pitch.
Yeah, but listen, Arsenal had their problem because of the injuries rise going off. But huge credit to Spurs because they've got absolutely no right to be doing what they are doing because
Kotoko.
Yeah.
What is he doing so right at Spurs? Because apart from the fact that he has a likable personality, he's got the team playing some fantastic football.
And they've got, like I said, they've got no right to be doing what they are doing.
3 months.
He walked into the side that lost arguably the greatest Spurs player in their history, Harry Kane.
Yeah.
They lost him to Bayern Munich. He also has got an expensive signing who is misfiring and recently came out to say he had off the pitch issues in Richarlison. He's not firing. Then he has to reshuffle the team. Some of the players are just not good enough to be there.
No top class signings.
He's not made massive signings. Bissouma barely got a look in and had his own injury worries as well. And this season has got him and Sarr playing that midfield and they've been immense. Topped up with James Maddison. And the point then is, he's stubborn about the way he wants to play. And he's got a Spurs players enjoying themselves again. It's almost as if when we were playing under Jose and Conte, they were doing exactly what the manager wanted them to do without necessarily enjoying freedom. With this team, you have a feeling that these boys are happy to play the way they are playing.
Yeah.
And more importantly, it's been received well by the fans because they call it the Spurs way. This is how Spurs want to play. Great attacking football, very confident. But there's something about the Spurs team. They've got something now that maybe they didn't have. And I wonder how long that lasts. Maybe they've got character about them. Because we saw them last week, they almost lost their game, but...
Oh, goodness me.
In the final minute, Richarlison...
94 and 98 minutes.
Unlike Spurs.
Very unlike Spurs. They're gonna,
they didn't bottle that.
Absolutely, and we see Spurs now come to the Emirates against Arsenal, concede first. They get a goal back, concede the second from a penalty. Then straight away they go on and equalize. That is character, and that is what we've seen of them this season. So I think Ange Postecoglou, with 3 months, one pre-season, no massive signings, losing the player in Harry Kane that he's lost, and got Spurs playing the way they are playing, that is an incredible start to his life at the new Spurs Stadium.
Some people are enjoying, others are suffering. Chelsea Football Club hosted Aston Villa. Brothers and sisters. Oh, goodness me. They had a man sent off, Malo Gusto. There were basically 2 key incidents. He got sent off. Sterling, had the greatest opportunity in the game. And then, of course, Aston Villa get a goal from an impossible angle. And it's just so many things going wrong. Daniel, I don't want to, because you've commented on this Chelsea team so many times. So I want to give this to Sucho. Sucho, what have you seen? Daniel thinks that Chelsea are in a good place and that the results will come because they're playing well. They just should have signed the striker because this guy, what's his name? Jackson is not a goal scorer. And that's the only thing missing in the Chelsea team. Is that really the only thing missing in the team?
I think there's a lot more than just lack of goals missing. They lack personality, they lack character.
Let's see the goal. What is this?
That runs through the team.
That's pain him. He doesn't want to.
That's pain him. How can you be showing the goal and then you cut to me? You finish the sequence.
By the way, that's a lovely finish by Oli Watkins because Cole, that's Robert.
They should not be scoring.
But Sanchez should be doing a lot better with it. He should really be. And the first mistake was from Thiago Silva when he couldn't control the ball. But like I'm saying, what Chelsea also lack is personality and character. We just described Spurs as a team that has shown that.
Was that a red card?
Yeah, I think it was. It was over the ball. Yes, he showed the stats. His intention was not to go into the player for a filthy tackle, but he mistimed the tackle and got right into the shin of his.
Just get back to making your point.
So I'm saying that Chelsea lack characters in this side. They lack personalities.
Yeah.
It's not a lack of talent. They've got great talents in there, and if you put Chelsea's talent pool together, it should be good enough to beat Aston Villa. But what is lacking here is that there aren't players in that team that are going to pick the rest up who are struggling for confidence. Listen, Chelsea are not scoring goals because they've not got a natural goal scorer. There's a reason why we call them natural goal scorers. You don't teach them. They have it from birth, and you buy them. They cost a lot of money. Rarely do a player like Alvaro Morata, he got 2 against Real Madrid, but he's a striker, but he's not a natural finisher. Erling Haaland is a natural finisher. You saw a player like Ruud van Nistelrooy in his days, natural finisher. These are players who It's just with them. They just smell the goals. Aguero, he'll finish them off. What Chelsea lack now is somebody to stick the ball into the back of the net. But while they don't score,
are they even? Okay, I wanted to say are they even creating? But they are creating.
Absolutely,
they miss.
They are creating. They are creating good enough chances to
be winning. In fact, the first 25 minutes, Chelsea should have put this game beyond.
They played some very, very good football, and that is the problem. Now, when you are not scoring as a team, every team has that phase. Even City do get those patches where they're going to score just one goal in a game.
Last year, people were doubting Haaland.
Yes,
suddenly because they went to a dry spell.
You went to do a 4 game without. But when that happens, you need a group of players who can pull through together and get the goals from somewhere. Some personalities come through. And like I've said it before, you can't get kids, using kids in context, to play together and grow around themselves. You need kids to play among some very elite, experienced athletes. To be able, we saw Vinicius Jr. blend well with Benzema, Kroos, Modric. They won the Champions League. We've seen what Pep Guardiola does with Phil Foden and the likes. That is how you get them to nature, because they'll go under the radar. But when they go under the radar, you need a Benzema to stand up and score the 2 goals. So the 3 games that Vinicius has been off, nobody sees it. Because Real Madrid have won and Benzema has scored. Then he goes on the 5 game. If Jackson goes off in 2 games, it's so clear. Because not Mudryk, not Enzo, not Caicedo, perhaps not Sterling will bail him out.
Why never shall go?
I have numbers to back what I was saying. So,
I understand.
So it's not like I'm just
go on. I get it. Go on.
This is why it is not Pochettino's fault. He has nothing to do with it. It's the recruitment team and their failure to sign a striker. When you look at the no penalty XG, so I'm not using XG. When you take penalties out, you look at raw chances creation and expected goals.
In the Premier League.
In the Premier League, Brighton are on top. They have 13.5. They score 15 goals.
Yes.
Followed by Man City, 13.4. They score 16 goals.
Outperforming it.
Liverpool, 13.4. They scored 18 goals. Tottenham have 13.0. That is 13. They've scored 16. Then Newcastle come with 12.9. In fact, that number just rose yesterday.
Yes, because they scored 8 goals.
Yes. 12.9. They scored 15 goals. Then Chelsea, 11. They scored 5. Now,
so they are
Nicholas Jackson after Erling Haaland in the Premier League in terms of expected goals. Nicholas Jackson is next.
Yeah.
So what I'm saying is that if you were looking at the goal king chart that Haaland leads right now, Nicholas Jackson should be
second behind
Haaland. All things being equal,
if he's converting at the same efficiency
as Erling Haaland, or Callum Wilson, who is behind him, who is also outperforming his age. He should be there. Now, when you look at the XG in terms of points XG, expected points, that's when they measure games by XG. Chelsea are outperforming. I said it last week that Chelsea shouldn't be where they are. Chelsea have 11 points and they should be 5th, joint 5th with Newcastle.
By XG.
By XG. Now, the final one is Chelsea have the 3rd best defense this season. After Manchester City. Then there's Chelsea and Arsenal.
So they're not conceding by half. They're just not scoring.
There's 6 goals.
Except that the again, the very minimum shots that goes on target, most of them are finding the back of the net. You know, they're not conceding a lot of chances.
But 6 goals is not so bad.
It's not so bad. It's really good. And that is what we said. The application of what Pochettino wants, the framework of what Pochettino wants to do is clear. But the personnel, and that is why when you think that they've spent £1 billion, euros, and lack a proper finisher, a confident goalkeeper.
You talk about experience. One of them is Sterling. I'm surprised Bernard didn't get that point, that particular clip for me, because that's exact experience that you need. Players that will step up. He had a brilliant moment like that in the game.
Again, Frank, that's the thing, isn't it? The more reason why I'm not looking at necessarily experience, I look at personality and character. Sterling might be experienced, but he's not a personality. He's not a leader. He's never been. He really hasn't. Sterling even needs somebody to push him. He's never really been the man who's going to carry anybody. Thiago Silva perhaps is, but no other, not Chilwell, not even maybe Reece James, and that is a problem.
All right, let's run through some games very quickly. Liverpool have no such problems. They are now 18 games unbeaten in all competitions. They took on Kudus Mohammed's West Ham United. Kudus was left on the bench, came on in the 74th minute, but Liverpool didn't even need him to be there or not there. They made light work, of course, of West Ham by beating them comfortably. Daniel, quick thoughts on this. Liverpool have found their rhythm, haven't they?
Yeah, they have. It was just a matter of time. And we saw traces of it last season. We knew exactly what they were lacking. The interesting thing is that I'm still not quite convinced. I feel like against some of the more adventurous opposition, they will struggle. We saw it in the Bournemouth game. When teams decide to take the game to them, I think they'll struggle because of the lack of cover in front of the defense, and that could be an issue. But then again, you find a way to win the games that are in front of you, and for that you have to credit Klopp and what he's doing. And I feel he's assembled, especially in the attack. In the midfield is a profile of player that he's missing. But in the midfield and the attack, he's assembled a group of players who can... Look, they can go and win this title.
Yeah. They are second now. We are Man City, only a point behind.
I don't think Liverpool can, largely because of individuals. And I think when you look at their backline, almost everyone now in that backline has got a mistake in him, including their best defender, Virgil van Dijk. He's not the same. When Matip plays, he looks like a mistakes about Gomez or Trent Alexander-Arnold. And you can't... That's why Liverpool are conceding. When Klopp's team was winning the Premier League, they were in penny trouble. You couldn't score against them. You couldn't get past them. These days, it's almost as if teams can score against Liverpool. But what Liverpool are counting on is this man Darwin Núñez is on fire, Mo Salah is on fire, Diaz is on fire, and Jota can stick in some as well. But it won't always be that. They have to be tight at the back a little bit more.
All right, let's go to Manchester United. They got a very rare victory as well. But what a goal of the round. Fantastic finish from Bruno Fernandes to give them the 1-0 victory. Ten Hag says he hopes that this is a step forward. But the performance wasn't very encouraging against a really, really poor Burnley side.
Well, poor on the number of points they've amassed and the number of goals they scored, but on the day they were brilliant. And if they had a little bit of quality, United maybe shouldn't be winning. And that is how maybe bad United played. But listen, when you've played as bad as United have played this season and you've not had results going your way, as it's been, all you need is 3 points and a win. Anyway, anyhow. It doesn't have to be brilliant, it doesn't have to be beautiful. You just need to feel that victory, and just maybe that is the turning point. But United, when you watch them play, just know that they've got so much to do. They've got plenty of work. And last season, you could excuse Erik ten Hag and Man United because it was first season, he had problems. But into his second season, by now, there should be clarity on how he wants to play.
He says too much is going against them, including this disallowed goal. He said it should not have been disallowed.
Come on. And he's making these excuses. He said it wasn't a penalty. Wolves shouldn't have had a penalty against them.
He says that a lot. He says too much is going against them.
That is, for me, it's an offside. But what a finish that is.
I mean, this finish.
It's a brilliant finish by Bruno Fernandes, full of quality.
The parts from
Johnny Evans here.
Johnny Evans. Look at that. Yeah. Look at that. Look at that. False Fools would be proud.
Fabulous finish.
It's a fantastic finish. Anyway, so that's that. That was the goal that won it for Man United. Let's look at the 4 results from the Premier League. Man City got a 2-0 win. The 2 goals were beautiful goals. Too bad we can't show you. 2 beautiful team goals against Nottingham Forest. Rodri got sent off in that match as well. Luton and Wolves 1-0. Brighton, they are second on the Premier League table. Third, I beg your pardon, behind Liverpool. They won 3-1 against Bournemouth as well. Let's look at the table. But Newcastle, their 8-0 victory against Sheffield was the highlight. That match was, of course, on Sunday night. So there you see Man City top, Liverpool behind, Brighton, Spurs, Arsenal, Aston Villa, West Ham, Newcastle, Man United, Crystal Palace completing the top 10. The bottom 10, Fulham, Forest, Brentford. If you are looking for Chelsea, you have to dig deep. They are down there, 14th. All right, Everton, Wolves, Bournemouth. And the 3 teams that got promoted this season are the 3 teams that are bottom of the table with a point each. It's unbelievable how the 3 newly promoted teams are performing so poorly this early in the season. Anyway, we'll take a very short break. When we come back, Karim is here with Ghanaian players abroad, and I've got all your messages. Plus, of course, we'll go to La Liga and show you the critical game there, how Real Madrid were humbled at the Wanda Metropolitano. Keep watching Sports Zone. We'll be right back. All right, welcome back. This is Sports Zone. We're on the last leg of the show. Let me get some messages. I'm starting on Twitter. Pirlo says the problem Chelsea is facing now is entirely because of the attack. It is completely blunt. The defense is superb. Keeper is proving some of us wrong. The midfield is doing its job, but the attack has completely gone to sleep. Sterling and Jackson really need to wake up, he says. Steadfast has put a picture of me to accompany his message. He says, I don't think Man United is in any type of problem as people make it look. We have about 10 plus first team players out of the team, and looking at the teams we lost against, Arsenal, Spurs, Brighton and Bayern, I think we are blowing things out of proportion. All right, cool. Gambero Roland says, hi fan, being a Kotoko, Chelsea and Team Mercedes fan at this time is not pleasant at all. Also, James Madison has really brought a new dimension to how Spurs play this season. No wonder he won Player of the Month award. The guy is too good. All right, cool. This message says, welcome back, Mr. Empty Tank. Can't wait to have you back on the show. Okay, cool. This message says, hi Fencho. This is Seidu, aka Fernando Morantes. Liverpool are using Takashi to win the league this season, but Chelsea, them see players with them decide say them go sign Migos and Rastafari, them go smoke them. They know they see the go safe. You see, this thing you people do is not nice. Ransfield said, whenever I see Enzo as our number 10 and Chelsea as our main striker, and Jackson, as our main striker, I kind of weep inward. Coaches should stay away from Chelsea. It's a bait to stain your CV. Your captain is spending more time in the hospital than on the pitch. What did Thiago Silva do wrong? He says. There are more messages there. Let me just take a couple from WhatsApp, and then we'll go to Karim. All right, cool. This is a message from Philip in Takrady, who just sent in this one. And he says, the only currency at Chelsea is time. But interestingly, Poch doesn't have that. I think Poch is still in charge, so he still has time. Fento, it's me, Ajoda Police. Call me why, I have missed you. Ajoda Police, thank you. This one says, Kofi Dre from Chito. He says, 35-year-old Johnny Evans got relegated with Leicester, was without any club for months, comes back to Man United and still has more assists than a certain £100 million player. Hey, Mudryk, God help Chelsea, he says. All right, this one says, it's from Dela Iman Kasim, who says, the problems of Chelsea are these, okay? Inexperience and too many youngsters, injuries, poor boys and desire to fight on the pitch. And no desire to fight on the pitch. Solution is with Pochettino, he says. Interesting. And your boy Asuma Feli says, I hope my message will be read today. I'm really excited with how Xavi is managing my beloved Barcelona and hoping that the team will continue to improve in defense to reduce the goals conceded. Please, we must pray for those fans supporting Kotoko and Chelsea. Your boy Asuma Felix, thank you for your message. Karim is here with the performance of Ghanaian players abroad. Mr. Benny, how are you?
I'm happy, man.
Why are you happy?
If you look at the team, I have 11 players there.
Okay.
Only 2 are not involved in goals.
Only 2 are not involved in goals?
Yes. The goalkeeper has kept a clean sheet. If you divide the team into half, the outfield players, 5 has goals. Then, wow. So let me just go through it. Razak Abalora, he kept the post for FC Sheriff in the Moldovan League. They won 1-0 against Zimbru. Okay. Then Ali Seidu, his side, they are still without a win. But if you are looking at his individual performances, he's been on the upward trajectory. In that game, he completed the most dribbles, 2, and also completed the most passes, 77 against Toulouse, and also the most duels won. Then Patrick Pfeiffer, he moved to Osberg, but he didn't make his debut until the past 2 games. And in the win against Mainz 04, he provided an assist, made 1-2 tackles and won 7 duels in that game. Then Alex Djiku, his side, Fenerbahce, they won 1-0 against Alanyaspor in the Turkish Super League in that game. He completed the most passes, 58, and won 9 duels, the most in that game. Then we have Patrick Pozzo at left back in that game, in their game, that his side.
Where was Baba Rahman this weekend?
Baba Rahman hasn't played, maybe the game.
Where is Gideon Mensah?
Gideon Mensah has
Warren
played.
is playing today, I think. He played
Gideon
today.
Mensah has played. He played with Elisha. Elisha did better in his year. Pozo has done better than Elisha by providing an assist for Banik Ostrava in their 5-1 win over FC Zilin. Then,
which Boache is that?
Augustine Boachi, the former Wafa guy. I need to touch on Salis. In 7 games this season, his side has finally found a winner against.
Wow.
Quite forgotten the team, but in 7 games, this is the first time they are winning. In that game, he completed 67 of the 73 passes he attempted, completed 17 final third passes. That's something big. He's usually not known for.
Good for him.
The ball
and Inaki also scored.
Yes.
Pencil scored.
Who is Archie?
Who is the Archie striker there?
Ragnar Archie, 25. He plays for Kaiserslautern. They won 3-1 against Hansa Rostock. He scored in that game. Then Inaki, as we said, he scored for Bilbao in their 2-0 win against Alaves. He scored the first goal and assisted the second. Then Joseph Fenster, he also scored his first goal of the season for Genk in their 3-3 draw against St. Trudens. Then in that game, he scored the equalizer. They were 3 goals down, and he popped up with a brilliant winner that Nikkei likes.
All right, thank you very much, Karim. Ghanaian players abroad. Let's wrap up with La Liga. Of course, Real Madrid, they were humbled by Atletico Madrid. They lost that game by 3-1. It was a very strange game of football, but Atletico, many people had said they were not a team that knew how to score goals, but they found the goals and they absolutely destroyed Real Madrid. My director is screaming in my ear that I need to go. And the whole time I was talking, they were playing the highlights, like we've seen 2 goals, but instead they will scream in my ear. you see the problem? I'm shocked. That happened. Anyway, that's our show, proudly brought to you by Pride Bet, Syntex Tank, and also, of course, Hunters. My name is Fentio Tahir Fentio. Switch off Philip Achrim. Returned to the show, and so did Daniel Cranting. Until next Monday, it's bye-bye for now. Do take care of yourself.